Guys are De Bello Gallico 537 through 9. So three chapters. Let's hit it. Well, things aren't going well for good old Kata. He's Kata got hit in the face with a slug. And then you got Sabinus now, who's going to go and try to treat with the enemy to try and save his own skin. So we start with Sabinus. What does he do? He ubets. He orders uh the send them to follow. Who's them to follow? Them to follow is the whom which tribunes of the soldiers. So he had some heavy ranking colonels was having around him at presence, and the centurions of the first ranks to follow. And when Akesisit, they had approached nearer Ambiorix, Sabinus Usus, having been ordered abicere arma to throw away his arms, what? He facit imperatum. He does the thing that was ordered. And Sabinus orders his boys, dative, to do the same thing. So they're all going to the enemy in the middle of battle. Now they have no weapons. Meanwhile, while they do amongst themselves about the conditions for surrender, and a sermo longior, a quite long sermon or discussion, is begun by Ambiorix, because he loves to talk. By plan, gradually, Palatin, circumventus, having been surrounded, interficator, Sabinus is killed, which also everybody around him. Then, truly in their custom, they shout the victory, and they lift a with an ululation, and they disturb the ranks of the Romans, right? With a facto impetu, with a attack having been made into our men. So they got shouting, they got screaming, they got no leaders. There, Lucius Cotta fighting. Interficator is killed with the greatest part of the soldiers. The remaining recipient recover. Notice it's present to indicate vivid themselves into camp from whence they had come, out of which Lucius Petrosidius, the Aquilifer, remember the guy carrying the eagle, when he was being pressed by a magna multitude, by a great multitude of enemies, he throws the Aquila, the eagle, within the walls of the abandoned camp. He himself, Occiditor, is killed fighting very fiercely in front of the camp. Those guys, the survivors, sustained the besiegement scarcely to the night. Remember, this was a camp made for what, 9,000? 9,000 at the most soldiers, legion and a half. You only got a little handful to defend it. Not enough. At night, ablative absolute, with safety having been despaired of, everybody, omnes interficiant themselves. They all kill themselves. Well, you saw, don't they think they're angsty or something? Remember, those who are captured by the Gauls, there's always death by the wicker man to wait for. So the Romans, did what they thought was prudent. A few, elapsi, having elapsed out of battle, escaped out of battle by incertibus itineribus, by uncertain journeys, they arrive through the woods ad Silbas, ad Titus Labienus, the legate, into winter quarters, and they make him more certain. They inform him about the things having been done. So not so good. The whole entire legion half wiped out. 2 commanders wiped out. A few survivors escape the 100 miles they got to go to the camp of Labianos. Nobody knows what's happening, but guess what? Ambiorix Sublatus, having been elated, he's puffed up, Hoc Victoria, by this victory. Immediately, Proficiscator sets out with his cavalry into the Atuatuki, who were the nearest of his to the kingdom of him. Now, remember, the Atuatuki had beaten up on the Iberines before, and Caesar had beaten up on the Atuatuki and given them back, no more taxes, no more tribute, giving them back their hostages. Ambiorix is going toward an enemy, but you know what? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Nor does he let up through the night and the day journey, and he orders his infantry to follow him. Remember, the cavalry is how you're going to move fastest. So Ambiorix now is among the Atuatuki, his enemies. And he's going to say, guess what I did? With re demonstrata, ablative absolute clause, with the thing having been demonstrated and with the Atuatukis having been moved forward, having been excited, you did what? Yippee! On the following day, he arrives into the Nerwii and he urges. So this is still Ambiorix because you want to give a bad guy face to the disaster. Not saying it's a natural rebellion of people wanting to be free, but it's got to be one bad guy. Now notice the Atuatuki are excited. They're coming along. They show up at the Nerwii, a Belgic tribe, not Gallic, but Belgic tribe, Belgians who were very fierce, very warsome, and they had been beaten by Caesar before. And he urges them, indirect command clause, nay, that they demittant, that they don't let pass by the opportunity. The opportunity of what? Sui liberandi, gerundive, of liberating themselves into perpetuity. Sounds like the Britons. And of the opportunity of revenging the Romans on account of those things which those injuries, right, which they had received. So he also he shows that there are 2 legates had been killed, 2 commanders have been killed, and the great part of their army. That's a genitive for executus. Oh my goodness. And he also says that it's nothing of business. It's a nothing. It's not a big thing. It ain't nothing but a thing. Suddenly, to that the legion, which now, which is spending the winter with Cicero, not a big thing that they be killed having been attacked. Hey, let's repeat the idea. And he puts himself forward. He puts himself forward to the thing as the planner. Hey, I can help you out. I'm an expert consultant on killing Romans. Easily he persuades dative object the Nervii by this speech. And so immediately, ablative absolute clause, with messengers having been sent to the Cutrones, the Grudii, the Leviacos, the Blumiacos, the blah blah blahs, who all are under their command of the Nervii. So you got the Nervii, you got the Atuatuki, you got the Ibernes, and then you got these small little tribes, very small, but there's a lot of people Caesar's showing up that they compel as with the greatest forces they're able, that they gather all the forces that they're able, they fly to the camp of Cicero de improviso, unexpectedly. Not yet, ablative absolute clause, with the death with Perlata lifted up with the rumor uh, having been lifted to him about the death of Titurius. Now, so Cicero is unaware. Cicero is also facing not just a little Eburones plus Aduatuki, larger tribe, plus Neri, big tribe, plus these little tribes. To him, it also happens. Now, remember, Caesar's using it was necessary, which was bound to happen, right? That not no soldiers or some soldiers who had departed into the woods, causa postpositional phrase, for the sake of wood gathering and munitioning, right? We got to get some wood to build up our camp. Suddenly, they are intercepted. They were intercepted by the arrival of the cavalry of all these people. And with these guys, these Romans in the woods, having been surrounded by a magnu, by a great force, the Eburones, the Nereid, the Atuatuki, notice the asyndeton, and the allies of all these, and the clients, they begin to attack the legion. Oh, hey, if a legion and a half was destroyed by a teeny tiny tribe, what's going to happen to Cicero, who's got one legion attacked by an army 10 times as large? Our boys quickly run to their arms. They ascend the wall. Scarcely that day is sustained. They hold out that day. Because why is it so tough? The enemy's hostes, right, were placing Ponabat all hope in speed, get it done quickly, kill them quickly, and Adepti having obtained Hanc Victoria, this victory, they were trusting that they would be what? Victors in perpetuity, not just free, but victors in perpetuity. So, what are we going to do with Cicero? Poor Cicero, he's left alone. He's left out in the woods. His legion is cut off. Nobody knows. And there's a whole lot of angry Gauls and Belgians coming. Oh, this is getting exciting. And I look forward to seeing you in class. That's also exciting.